This is Jacaranda mimosifolia, or also sold as Jacaranda acutifolia. And what you're looking at is the reason why it's such a popular tree. These stunning purple flowers make it very unique and sought after. So you're looking at photos of it in San Diego, California, also in Los Angeles, and that's because it is not a very hardy tree. It originates from Brazil and it does like warmth. And it does not like the cold. So it's listed at being hardy to about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And I live in an inland valley where during the winter it usually the lows are around 25 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but we get the odd winter where the temperature drops down in below 20, and that's killed it. So I know of one tree in our town that survived, and it's not super old. It's probably 10, 12 years old, but it's very hard to make a go of it in the colder temperature areas. So, but on the other hand, excuse me, on the other hand, it says that it does not flower well unless it gets some warmth. So if it's too close to the coast and by the ocean, in cooler areas, it may not get enough warmth to effectively bloom. That said, these blossoms that you saw in the first few frames, those are in San Diego, right down next to the bay, and they were flowering great. So just a couple of things to know about the bloom and what to expect. The tree itself, you know, as great as all those flowers are, they end up on the ground. So you just have to be willing to live with the mess when they are done blooming to go along with the great color. The texture of the leaves is very fine and lacy. You can see here this is during the summer, and this is the open habit of the tree. And here what happens is they go deciduous in towards the end of winter. And then this is taken in May, late May, when this is in heavy bloom. And then right as the blooms are coming off, that's usually when the leaves follow and refoliate the tree. So it's got kind of an odd deciduous time. It's late winter through spring is usually when it's bare. And you can also see here the branching structure is fairly irregular, and you know they need some attention when they're young to kind of get them looking good and keep the shape in a way that you would like. So just know that they need a little training when they're young, otherwise they can look pretty awkward. So you know, I see these used by Caltrans in California, along areas like San Jose and so forth, and then certainly in California, LA, I see them along the freeways as well. And then I've also seen them used as street trees. So yeah, this is in Santa Barbara right here in an apartment complex, and they use quite a few of them in there. The size that's probably a 35 foot high by 30-foot wide tree right there. Fairly mature one. I believe the age on that one's 20 to 30 years old that you're looking at. The trunk on it appears to be about 16 inches in diameter or so. So they can become larger trees. I saw one in Los Angeles that was easily 40 feet tall. And I think, you know, as a designer, you just want to think about the trade-off between the blooms, and I think the blooms last probably 3 to 5 weeks long, and whether that bloom is enough to justify the mess and the other characters of the tree. I like the openness of it. If I want some the presence of a tree, but I don't want a very heavy canopy on it like something like a mulberry might have, then this is really nice. See how much sky you can see through this shot right here when you're looking at the leaves? So you get filtered shade through these trees, and I think that's pretty nice. So that's what I can tell you about it. It's fairly tolerant of many conditions in terms of the soil, prefers slightly sandy soil, and also I would say it's smog tolerant because there's a lot of these in Los Angeles. So that is Jacaranda mimosifolia. Beautiful flowering tree. Just be aware that there is some mess associated with it. And by the way, it gets a flat seed pod, but they can actually look kind of ornamental, and they don't seem to stay on the tree, and so they're not an unattractive part of the tree itself.